Yeah, we're recording. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy payday. Happy double, triple fast start day. Happy leadership call day. Um, if you guys can hear the excitement in my voice, I am excited because we just hit February, and February means tax returns are coming, and February means the beginning of really what is going to be huge for a lot of people's businesses if you go all in and if you plug in and if you stay consistent. I have been in this industry for 10 years, you guys, and I can tell you this. Every single February through March, April, May, June-ish, I've seen people double, triple, quadruple their rank, their income. So it's an exciting time, and it's all really what you do with it. And if you're on today, I applaud you because you're pouring into yourself. You are getting some self-development in. I always say this is kind of a little self-development call, and I'm super excited for today's call because I'll be interviewing my 54th 200K. We've been doing this for over a year now, and every week we've had a different 200K on, and it has been so stinking exciting. But this week is going to be even a little more exciting because we have Lavelle's youngest ever millionaire on our call, Brittany Walker. Brittany, you actually are going to have to unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm on. How are you?
There you are. Yay. First of all, thank you so much for doing this call. Like, I appreciate you so much for saying yes and hopping on today and sharing with us. And I can't wait to hear your story and everything you've done. And I kind of wanted to start from the beginning. Like, what were you doing before you got into network marketing? Were you going to school, working? Like, what did that look like? And then how did you find out about Lavelle? And then take me down that road. Did you start as a customer? Did you just jump into promoter? And then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. So, hi guys. I'm Brittany. Lisa, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak today. So I started Thriving back in 2017. I started as a customer. Prior to joining Lavelle, I was a full-time banker, and I had started in the banking industry when I was 18, fresh out of high school. I tried the college thing for like 3 weeks and then I dropped out. And so I went straight into the banking industry, started as a teller, worked my way up to personal banker, and then, eventually became a branch manager. And so I kind of thought that was going to be the course of my life. The reason I started Thriving really is because I would sit at my desk every day at the bank and I was just so tired. And a lot of people don't know that, banking is actually a sales role. You have to, sell checking accounts and loans. And so there's really high pressure goals in corporate America if you're in a sales role. And so I could never find that motivation inside me. And naturally, I'm a pretty self-motivated person, but I just kind of lost that spark, as I got older. And so I had a friend who actually introduced me to Thrive 2 years before, so back in 2015, and had invited me to a restaurant to talk about it. And, that friend was Danny Angelo, my upline, and she had just gotten her car bonus. She had just hit 12K. And when we got to the restaurant and she pitched the opportunity to me, I just shut down. I laughed at her. I have never been, the type of person to get involved with these types of businesses. I was very ignorant to it. I didn't understand how the industry worked. I thought it was just, one of those things that people do and they spend more money than they ever make. And so I was completely turned off to the idea. Fast forward 2 years later, I made a Facebook post and I said, you guys, I'm a Starbucks addict. I'm so sick of spending money on coffee. I'm not feeling like myself. I need something else. Like, I need more energy. Can you just, recommend products? And I had over 20 people comment on that status and recommend Thrive. Now, the really interesting thing about that is out of those 20 people, more than half of them weren't even promoters. These were just people that were customers using Thrive for themselves. And so, I remember responding to people on that post saying, are you promoting it? Are you selling it? And then I noticed that so many of them weren't. They were just using it for themselves. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to, get back in touch with Danny and I'm going to give this stuff a try. No interest in the business side whatsoever. So back in May of 2017, I purchased as a customer, got my order, first day, did all 3 steps as directed. And within 15 minutes, I was a day one thriver. Within 15 minutes of doing the capsule shake and DFT, it was just like a completely different type of energy than coffee or energy drinks. It was this mental clarity it was like that fog that I was feeling when I used to sit at my desk and, you know, I had no motivation. It was gone. Like I felt productive. I wanted to do things. I wanted to get out and make calls. I wanted to go home and do laundry. I wanted to do things that normally I would not find myself wanting to do. And so I remember texting Danny and I'm like, okay, this is kind of crazy. And, you know, it got better with time. So, you know, day 3, day 10, like Paul says, I mean, it just continuously got better to the point where I was waking up in the morning at, you know, 6:30 without an alarm clock before my alarm would go off. But I was waking up feeling rested, feeling like I wanted to take on the day. And I was just feeling good. I was happy. And so I started talking to my family about it, started talking to my friends. My mom actually at the time was using another product, another direct sales product that she had been using for years. And the product was called Spark. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. And she's like, oh, you know, I'm not going to try this stuff. I'm like, well, actually you are. I'm bringing you 3 days. You're trying it right now. And then very next day when she started, that afternoon, she texted me and she goes, how do I order? And I was like, it works, doesn't it? Like, you feel great. And she's like, this is something I feel amazing. So I then reached back out to Danny and I said, hey, my mom wants to order. I'm just going to refer her as a customer. I don't want to be part of the business. And Danny's like, no, switch. She's like, there's no difference of being a promoter than there is a customer other than the fact that you get paid commissions. And I said, you know what, if I just click the promoter button and all I do is sign one customer a month, that's fine. So my mom was my first customer, but then she started talking to people. I made one Facebook post and people started asking about it. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go for that VIP 800 bonus. And so that's kind of where it started. So.
Okay, so she kind of said, you're doing this, and you were like, okay, let's do it. I mean, because there is no difference. I mean, I think a lot of people are so weary of that. And I get it, because in other network marketing companies, there's always strings. They're always like, okay, there is no such thing as free. And it's like talking people into it over here. Like, no, it really is. It truly is. Like, trust me. It's hard to get people to trust you because they've been burned before. You just have to be like so patient with people. And I love how you said, that first interaction you had was, I don't want anything to do with this. And I think that's most people's. It was mine. I was like, I ain't doing one of those pyramid schemes. Like, you don't make money at that stuff. That's like a waste of time. And I think that's probably at least 95% of people's perception if they've never done network marketing before. So we have to like have that patience with people, I think. So tell me a little bit about how long it took for everything to happen. Did you get your VIP bonuses? How long did it take for you to go 4K and then 12, 80, 40, 200? Like, kind of take me down that trajectory of how it went.
So obviously I went for the VIP 800 bonus, signed my mom as the first customer. And then Danny's like, hey, get one more customer and 2 promoters and, you're going to earn $660. So I ran for VIP 800. It was not like a fast thing that happened overnight. It actually took me the full 14 days to hit VIP 800. I hit it on the very last day of my bonus period. So I was never eligible for VIP 1600. But from there, I kept going, I kept working. I actually ended up getting my old boss involved in the business side. And so that was my only promoter that I had that was actually working the business with me all the way through 12K. But from VIP 800, I hit the 4K iPad bonus. I believe it was 21 days it took me to hit 4K. And that was with, just one promoter. Her and I were just working off of each other. And from there, so actually my upline convinced me that I should go look at cars just to put it on my vision board. And so I went to the Lexus dealership the day after I hit 4K and ended up leaving with a Lexus RX 350 because I told myself that I loved the car so much that I was going to do whatever it took to get to 12K. So I actually got the car before I hit 12K, which is it's a funny joke that we all have in our team. But I didn't really promote the car or anything because I'm not the type of person that's going to promote things that aren't actually, happening to me personally. I just, worked my butt off, worked hand in hand with my one promoter that I had, got a couple others on my team that were interested. In the beginning, a lot of my business leaders were actually from face-to-face interaction. So people who I wanted to bring into my business, I would meet them in person versus, through Facebook. And so I got a couple of other people on my team and we hit 12K. I want to say it took 60 days, so about 2 months. As soon as I announced that I had gotten my Lexus, 6 days later, I hit 40K. So I tell my team, and I will tell you guys, the auto bonus is put in place at 12K for a reason. It's a very strategic tool to use as a way to grow your business. And just the amount of interest that came from that car for me was just huge. I mean, to go from 12K to 40K in a matter of 6 days and double rank in the same month, I really truly believe it was 100% because of that car, and because it painted that vision to my audience to say, hey, look, Brittany, she was just this 23-year-old banker, and like, if she can do it, I can too. And so in that week, I think I enrolled 35 new people, mostly promoters, a few customers, just from the car bonus. So from 40K to 80K, I hit 80K the next month, and then I went 200K the following month. So I ended up hitting 200K in 4 months with no network marketing experience, no following. I had at the time probably 500 or 600 Facebook friends, maybe 300 Instagram followers. Honestly, what it was is I saw that VIP 800 bonus and saw that bonus was half of my paycheck that my job was paying me every 2 weeks. And I noticed how easy it was to achieve that. And once I caught hold of that vision, I became obsessed with it. I mean, I just became, they say success is an obsession. And I just became obsessed with the fact that I knew if I could achieve that in 2 weeks, what could I do with this company long term? And so I just ran with this opportunity. I started talking to everybody about it. I've always led with the product. I know a lot of people do things differently. Some leaders will tell you that, lead with the business opportunity. I truly believe that the products that we have in our hands, they sell themselves. And if you just lead with your experience and you talk about your story and how Thrive has helped you, that in return is going to bring everybody into your business that you need to be successful. It's going to attract the right kind of people. So I've always led with the product. And yeah, it's been amazing. So my team went 200K in 4 months. And, I know, Lisa, you said you wanted me to share if I've ever had any struggles. Well, I hit 200K and lost it for 4 months after I hit 200K. So I was like on this high of, oh my gosh, I just hit the top rank in the company. I feel amazing. And then we didn't re-rank at 200K for the following 4 months after that. And so that was kind of a huge, like, whew, because everything happened so fast and you think it's just going to keep going on the upward trend. And then, reality kind of set in, and this is a business and businesses have highs and lows. And so that was a point for me where I had to kind of recreate myself, change up some of the daily activities I was doing within my team and, my own personal marketing to try to rebuild my team, back to 200K. So, that's something I share with my team because I know so people, they come in, and if they see that fast success, they see VIP 800 and 4K bonus, and then they don't immediately go for 12, they don't immediately hit 12K or 40K, whatever, they kind of lose motivation. And so it's important to know that, every leader in this company has at some point in their business experienced, obstacles where they're like, okay, what happened? And so, looking back on it, I just had people in my team that they did the same thing. They hit 4K, they hit 12K, and their success wasn't happening as fast as mine was or someone else in my team. So they just kind of gave up on their own vision and their own goals. And so, one thing I think is super important in this business is you can't compare yourself to anybody, because your journey is going to be totally different than anybody else's on this call. And it might take you, 2 months to hit 200K. It might take you 2 years, but it's really easy to look, through and look at other leaders and say, okay, well, they did it in 6 months. I need to do it, in 6 months. But in reality, like, your journey is going to look totally different. And so that's just super important to understand is that, it's not always going to happen like everybody else's journey does. So.
Right. And I was just thinking about what you said about like losing rank and people going fast. There's a lot of people on this Zoom right now that they did come in, they went fast, and then all of a sudden it fell apart. And I think that it's always a shock when things start to go backwards, and it's going to happen at some point. Like, I don't care who you are on this Zoom and how amazing business is going right now, and maybe you came in at some point, you are going to hit a wall. It happens to every person, and it's what you do when you hit that wall. Like, Brittany could have totally been like, welp, I guess, I just fell out of, I can't get it back, I fell out of 200K, maybe, and here's the thing that I've seen is people that go fast, this is such a trap that they fall in, because you're going fast, right? We're signing everybody and their mother and their brother and their dog, right? And then all of a sudden, because we went so fast, we start to see who's serious and who isn't, right? We start to see who's in it and who's not. And a lot of people fall off. I mean, I was just talking about that this morning, that people that join network marketing, we have the highest turnover rate. As fast as they're coming in, people are leaving. And it's not because this is harder that you can't make money. It's because people literally let other people in their heads. They let their self in their heads. They give up. That's what people do, right? Most people that made a New Year's resolution gave up the second day of January. It's just what we do in life. It's a sad thing, but it's true. If you're on this Zoom, I believe you're different. Like, you see the vision, you know where you want to go, but you have to know that it's going to take time. And like, you going 400K in 4 months or 200K in 4 months is not typical. Like, y'all, it's going to take most of you. I always tell people that have never done network marketing, if they're moving about a rank a year, you're on a good track. So what if it takes you 5 years to go 200K? Is it going to make it any less sweet, any less amazing? And don't think that if you hit 200K that it's all, it's all peaches and cream, because that's really where kind of the real work begins. You've been through your friends and family. And I love how you talked about you were face to face with people, because I will swear to this. When I sign up somebody new, I tell them, have a barbecue or have a girls' night, and then have just one other thriver or two other thrivers there. And then it'll come up. And getting face to face and showing that passion is where you sign people. I think we put too much like stress on ourselves. Oh, how am I going to message somebody and how am I going to bring this up, when we just need to be like living life and sharing the product. And I love that you lead with the product. So you've been in how long now? How many years?
So I joined, so it's been 2.5 years now.
2.5 years. Okay. And in that 2.5 years, I'm sure you've seen lots of things happen. People leave that were like, you're like, why did that person leave? I don't get it. I know that I totally like blame myself. Or if I lose like even a bigger leg, like somebody that was making money, it's like, why did that just happen? Like, what is going on? And I'm also sure you've compared yourself. I'm pretty sure you probably fell into management mode at one point, where you were kind of like not enrolling as much and maybe directing other people. What are some things that you can think of over the last 2.5 years that you feel like stalled you out and you had to like go, okay, stop doing that and regroup?
Well, last year I had probably my biggest wall that I hit, my biggest upset was I had a team, my personal, who another one who just took off, and she ended up going 80K, I want to say in 6 months, and she ended up, getting all the way up to 189,000 in volume one month, and that's the month where she was pushing for 200K, and she didn't hit 200K that month, and it was weird. The next day, the first of the month, I reached out to her and she's completely ghost. Can't get a hold of her. Couldn't, she just, basically fell off, stopped communicating with her team. And that kind of that really set me back, because she left the business. She didn't go to another company. She just went back into her nursing job. She just said this was too much for her. And, so whatever, people have their own reasons for making decisions. And so when I lost her, obviously a lot of the people she had signed were very loyal to her. And so just that whole leg, trying to keep it together, was really difficult. And, a lot of them fell off. So we saw, that leg fall off, and that was a huge upset, because then you're kind of in another phase of rebuilding. Even though, your team's still successful, you're not, at a point where you were at. So my thing is, you always want to do better than the month before, right? And so that my whole year last year was basically just trying to beat 2018 and rebuild that leg. And so for me, that was a huge upset. Of course, over the past 2.5 years, I've had so many people in my team who they come in, and what do I call them? They're MLM hoppers is what I call them. And, they came from another company and they maybe hit the first or second rank there, and they come over here and they do really well, because our comp plan, in my opinion, and the ability to achieve ranks here is, I think, more achievable than any other company I've seen. But they come here, they do really well. I had people, hit 12, 40, 80, and then plateau. And then, the next new MLM on the street comes up, pops up, and they don't know anything about the opportunity. They don't know anything about the comp plan. They just see that it's a new MLM, and the only thing in their minds is, if I get in first, I can sign everybody else and I'm going to hit the top rank of the company. Funny thing is, it's never worked out for anybody that I've ever seen do that. But I had several people do that throughout the course of the 2.5 years. And so one thing I'll say is, you just have to block out everybody else sometimes, and you just have to focus on, what is your vision? Why are you here? Because a lot of times when you're in this for a long time, you have to remind yourself, like, why did you start in the first place? For me, I started because I fell in love with the products. And so being able to honestly say that, I know that I'm in the right place. And so a lot of times you just have to kind of check yourself, and you can't listen to what everyone else is doing, because, it's easy to get caught up and, oh, well, I heard she's leaving, and I heard so-and-so's doing this and so-and-so's doing that. But at the end of the day, if you're investing your energy into what other people are doing, you're not going to ever achieve your goals. I don't care where you go. I don't care if you stay here, if you leave MLM altogether. You can't get caught up in the talk. You have to literally zone everything out, and your only focus and your only goal every single day has to be that next rank, or has to be getting someone on your team to that next rank. You just have to focus on growing and moving forward. You can't focus on what Sally's doing. You can't focus on what Danny's doing. I mean, you just have to focus on yourself and your team. And, the best way to find your runners in your team is to do this: Zoom calls. Host your own Zoom calls. I don't care if you're 4K or 12K or you just came in. I mean, I started doing Zoom calls when I hit 4K, and I did them every single week. And the people who get on those calls with you, those are the people that you focus on. Because, when I was 4K, I think my first Zoom, I had 3 people on, and those were the 3 people I focused on. And, from there, they grew. And so for me, that was just a way to kind of block out all the people who were talking and focus on the ones who I knew really wanted this.
What do you do? This is a question I get a lot. What do you do if somebody doesn't like you under you? They don't want to work with you. Like, they're like, they don't care that you're like a total rock star, badass. Like, they just seriously are like, they kind of got that I want to be the only leader syndrome. Kind of little. Oh, let me mute somebody out. Hold on a second. Kind of got that little ego thing going on. How do you handle that?
Well, I guess it would just depend on who you ask in my team, because some people really like my leadership style. Some people think maybe I'm too honest and too blunt. I mean, in my opinion, this is business. And one thing I'll say is, you're never going to get to where you want to go by yourself. And that's in any industry, but especially here. I mean, you're never going to get to where you want to go by yourself. And so if you have uplines who are willing to, just dig down into your team and help you grow your new people, honestly, it's a blessing, because a lot of people don't have that. And so, of course, I've had people on my team who, the more success you have, the more people tend to say, well, it's only because of me. I'm the one who got, and so you just, once again, the only way to handle it is really to just ignore it. I mean, because it's easy to get caught up once again in people saying like, oh, well, Brittany and Lisa, they're only here because of us. And so, we need more of their attention, or, they don't, they're not on calls with me 24/7. They're paying this person more attention than me. And it's very easy. It can almost become like high school if you let it. And so, I only focus on people who are positive, and who if I have people on my team that all they do is complain 24/7, I tell them, I'm like, well, when is the last time you've done a 3-way call? When's the last time you've gotten on a Zoom? When's the last time you actually talked to someone in person about Thrive? And you just have to kind of, when they question you, you throw the question right back in their face. Like, you're complaining, but what are you doing to grow? Because if you're not doing income producing activities every single day, then you really have no ground to stand on to complain. And so I won't listen to it. Of course, as a leader, you have to be there for your team when they need to vent, because once again, everyone does, have obstacles. Everyone's going to hit a wall eventually, and they're going to need their leader to support them. And I'm not saying don't be supportive. What I'm saying is, when you have the chronic complainers in your team, you as a leader have to, set the boundary that you're not the person to come to, to vent and complain 24/7, because that's only going to hurt your business. If you want to grow and you want to push forward, you can't let negative energy interfere with your business. You just can't, because it will not only tear that person down, it's going to tear you down too.
Right. It's just so crazy to me how some people, because I know you've heard it, I hear it. It's just angers me that that my upline isn't working this business and I'm making them money. I don't even feel like doing this anymore. Like we're letting other people, and I get that feeling. If somebody's not helping you, supporting you, and they're collecting a paycheck and they're not working their business, it is frustrating. But you can't let other people's decisions dictate how you're going to move forward. And all those like negative things compile on top of each other. And that's where you stop working. That's where people can sense your negativity and it kind of all starts going backwards and kind of, in my opinion. But what about like comparison? Do you ever find yourself comparing yourself to other people?
Oh yes. So whenever I first started, you guys might know Dana Chuva. She's my not my first not my sponsor, but she's my second upline. So her story, always inspired me. And so as fast as she grew and the size of the team she has, I would always find myself comparing, me to her. And I'd be like, hey, my paycheck was this week. Can you tell me yours? Because I always was like, I'm going to be the next, I want to be the next Dana Chuva. I want to go for this. And so a lot of times it was defeating because even though I, had really fast success, I also had that dip in my business. And, when you're looking around you, there's leaders in this company that are doing, 20, $30 million in sales a year. And then, I look at them and I'm like, well, they accomplished that in like 4 years. And here I am, and I'm only doing like 5 million a year. And like, why is it that I grew so fast and now I'm not like, continuing on that trend? What am I doing wrong? And so it's really easy to compare yourself to people. We all do it. I think even like top leaders in the company, they compare themselves to other top leaders. And of course we do it because I think when you're a goal driven person, you want to be the best of the best. Like you want to be up there on that stage. You want to be holding a 200K sign and you want to be a millionaire. And so yeah, it's easy to compare yourself, but once again, comparison is the thief of all joy. And if you are comparing yourself to someone else who maybe has more success than you are, you're forgetting, your own blessings. You're forgetting that even though, you don't have, maybe you're not where that person is, but you're also not where you started either. You're not, that person who was exhausted and tired and had no motivation in life. And so little things like that we forget, because we're just chasing the next big goal. And so it's really easy to get caught up in comparison, but you just have to remember, like in this business, gratitude's everything. Be thankful for every part of this journey, the good and the bad. And the more you compare yourself, the more miserable you're going to feel, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's so hard, but I think that's where a lot of people might stall out too. I always say it's kind of cool. One of the cool things about running a large organization is you kind of get to look at the people under you and see where they like start going wrong or see when things start going backwards. And one of the things I hear all the time is I'm just not motivated anymore. Like like which always kills me because I'm like I'm not motivated some days either. Like a lot of the time I'm not motivated. But I think you have to find like that thing. I always say if I ever have a day where I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore, all I have to do is go back to my life before this and think about waiting tables 70 hours a week and climbing through one door of my car, the only door that opened, like to get into the front seat. All I have to do is think about that and I am motivated again. And it's like this thing that we have people coming to us and they just stop working or they stall out. And I always say, I think one of the biggest mistakes I think people make, and I know you've seen this too, is they come in, they're running, they get to 12 or 40, and all of a sudden they start managing the people underneath of them. They stop doing what they were doing. And then they kind of think, oh, these people are going to get me all the way to 200K and beyond. And I always say like management mode is the biggest mistake you can make. You always have to keep doing what you did when you started, which is hard, right? Because like, especially if you're like 80K, 200K and you got this big team underneath of you, balancing that time,
Yeah.
like, oh crap, I still need to work my own business, but I also need to help this person. And I got a 3-way message and I need to be on a Zoom tonight. How do you like balance all that as you like started to grow and then like even now?
Well, so what most people don't know is I kept my banking job through 200K. I was 200K for an entire year before I quit my full time job. So I was working 9 to 5 during the day. Also, I got pregnant when the month that I hit 200K, found out I was pregnant. My husband joined the Army. I had to move cross country to Kansas, pregnant, and also trying to run a team and also working full time. So I was going through all of this, and so time management is so important. And one thing that I always tell my team is you just need to find 1 hour a day minimum that you're going to commit to working your business. And when we say working your business, we don't mean just going on Facebook and getting caught up in the scroll. That's not, an income producing activity. You have to have a list and plan your days in advance. If it's Sunday night and you don't already know what your Monday is going to look like, then really you're not going to accomplish what in your mind you want to accomplish. Like, you have the intentions of growing your business, but if it's not written down, it's probably not going to happen. And so if you're working full time, if you're a mom, I've been through all of that, and I had several life changes over these past 2.5 years, more than probably the rest of my life combined, honestly. And a lot of personal things I had to go through, but it's just ultimately at the end of the day, you have to put everything like on a picture board, right? That's why you have vision boards. You have to write things down. And so you just have to keep those things top of your mind. Because, one thing that I was at an event with Paul last week, and he goes, this business is easy to give up because you don't have a lot invested. And when he said that, I was like, oh my goodness, think about that. Most of us, or most of you guys, have full-time jobs. And so it's easy for you to give this up if it's not going the way that you want, because you still have another income coming in and you didn't have to invest a ton of money into this to get it started. So if you walk away from it, it's easy. But what you don't forget is that where you came from, like, before you started that full-time job and stuff, obviously wasn't providing you the life that you wanted. And so you have to keep that in mind, that where you're going is, it has to be better than where you came from. And so you just have to keep pushing forward. And I don't care what anybody says, there's nothing in life worth having is going to come easy. Whether it's, a good marriage, whether it's, a solid family or a successful business, all of that stuff takes a lot of work. And so you walking away from this is just you giving up on yourself. And if you have a team under you, you walking away is giving up on other people too. And so, that's why I think vision boards are extremely important. I think writing down your days in advance, extremely important, because the more that you can see it visually, the more it's going to be in your mind. If you're just thinking of things that you want to do and you're just thinking like, okay, well, I want to do this because I would love to have a car that's paid for by the company, but you're not actually thinking about what car, you're not putting it on a vision board. You're not, actually manifesting it. That's key is manifesting it. If you're not thinking about it every single day, I mean, like I said, obsessing over it, then the chances of it happening are very small. You just, you have to want this probably more than anything else. I mean, you have to obsess over it. You have to plan and execute.
Yeah, I was thinking about just the whole, like, people just want things right now. It's so crazy. Like, and I always think about those people that, like, their dream is owning a business. And, like, let's say it's a restaurant and they take out like a $200,000 loan and they open it, and, then it fails. This happens every day, guys. And those people put that open sign on whether a person walks in or not. Why? Because they invested 200 grand. And Paul's so right. I mean, people leave this so quickly because they don't have any skin in the game. That's why it's so important that you get them some skin in the game, like, immediately. They need to invest somehow, whether that's mentally, emotionally, or, getting a $400 pack, as small as that sounds. Getting that package really gets people like, okay, I need to get my money back, or I need to do something with this. It shows commitment. And, there's a lot of people out there paying for people's kits. I am so, like, paying for promoter packs and stuff like that, which I am so against, because you're wasting your money. Again,
Mm-hmm.
they have no skin in the game. It wasn't their money they spent, it's yours, So I'm always like, be careful with the discounts and stuff like that. I
Yes.
wanted to ask you about your age, because I hear this all the time. I'm too young to do this. This is why no one wants it. All my friends my age don't have the money. Um, no one, it seems like all the people in the company that are successful are like in their 40s. Like, did you find that to be an obstacle at all? And how did you get around, like, maybe people your age going, I don't need that right now? Because there's a lot of people that, they're not thinking about their health. They're not thinking about that kind of stuff. So did you find it like something? Did you go more towards an older crowd? Like, how did you attack that?
No, I mean, I would say most of my team, I mean, I do have some that are older, but most of them are 20s and 30s. And I was 23 when I started, and even at 23, I was already feeling like crap every day before I started thriving. And so I think that everyone from college students to middle-aged women who have older kids, we're all struggling with the energy because, it's just if you don't have the proper nutrition going into your body and you're not doing things every day to keep yourself going, it's easy to kind of fall in a slump and put on 10 pounds, and you just get into this horrible unhealthy habit, and people feel like crap, doesn't matter what age they are. And so what you have to do is show them why it's a priority for them to spend $150 on Thrive versus spending $150 at the bar. Because that is one thing, with my group of friends in the beginning that I had, everyone, they wouldn't want to spend $150 on Thrive, but I mean, on Friday night, if you hit them up to go to the bar and go drinking, they'll spend $150 at the bar. And so a lot of times it's kind of calling people out on their own BS and just saying, okay, so you don't have $150 for Thrive. Okay, well, Friday you were here. So when you're ready to take this seriously and run a business with me, you let me know. And so, another thing too is creating a sense of urgency. In your business, I think that's extremely important, especially when you're getting started. Just like, look, I'm only gonna, I'm bringing in people right now because I want to mentor one-on-one. I'm gonna take this seriously and run it as a business. I would love for you to do this with me. If you want to do it now, let's run this together. If you're not ready, then hopefully when you are, I'll still be here for you, and I'll still have the time to mentor you, because you want to create that sense of urgency that, look, you want to get in now. You need to do this now. And whether it's products or the business opportunity, you just have to make people understand why this is so valuable.
I love that. And I think it's like a limiting belief too. If you tell yourself, I'm young, none of my friends are going to want this. Okay, well then find new friends.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like if there's a will, there's a way. Like, stop making the excuses and how do I get around this? Like, you just have to figure out a way around. It was so refreshing in the beginning when you said that you got face to face with people, because people don't I think people think that everyone just does this through social media. Like, nobody's ever face to face. And now that you've been in like 2.5 years, I'm sure you've probably been through most of your warm market, like friends, family, like the ones that were going to sign with you, they signed. How do you continue to grow your network? Are you mostly a social media person? Are you out and about? Like, how have you continued to add new people all the time? Because I think it gets
Well,
harder the
oh,
longer
it
you're
gets
in.
harder the longer you're in. So it's and going back to, I think you asked me about has there ever been a time where like I stopped signing altogether, and like there's been a few times where my PPA drops to 1 or 2 or even 0 at one point, and it's like, whoa, what am I doing? I need to get back to work. And so for me, you have to constantly reinvent yourself, because once you burn through that warm market, those reach outs and those people who are asking questions about Thrive, their questions are going to fade and fall off if you're not working to rebuild that warm market. So as you're working to market to your warm market, you have to also be working your cold market to make it warm. Because if you're not constantly bringing and meeting new people and bringing them in, that's where you kind of plateau. For me personally, just recently, the way I reinvented myself is I got really involved at a gym and hired a personal trainer a couple times a week just to build that relationship, and just putting myself in a new environment. This gym's not even close to my house. It's like 20 miles west. And so, but I did it because I'm like, I want to be in a new environment, people that I've never met before. And usually what I do is, by networking and meeting people face to face, I truly believe face to face is still so much more powerful than social media. So when you have the opportunity to meet people face to face, just so they can see who you are and they get to know you, and they build that level of trust. And then from there, I add them on social media. Like if it's my first time seeing someone in person and we connect, and I'm like, oh, this is a person I can, have a connection with and, vibe with. And I'll just be like, hey girl, I'm going to add you on social media. I'm going to add you on Facebook because I want to stay in touch. And so, first meeting face to face, and then bringing them into your Facebook so that they can start seeing your posts. Because eventually, if that person trusts you and finds you to be credible, they're going to eventually ask you about what you do and what Thrive is. So, while I do that during the day, at nighttime, I'm still working my social media, still trying to grow my Instagram and Facebook. And, with that, it's getting involved with groups, on social media. And what I tell people is you need to think of Facebook and Instagram as like a networking event. Like, you're there to meet people and make new friends and make new connections. That's the whole purpose of social media. And so when you're getting involved in groups, it's not just joining them and then kind of scrolling and liking. It's joining them, posting in them, posting engaging things that people can comment on, and then engaging with those people who are commenting. And then from there, friend requesting them and building those connections. It's not necessarily like you add them and then, hey, can I tell you about my products? That's never what I do. I have never cold messaged a single person. And what I do is I build that relationship first, because like I said, if you have that level of trust, they're going to ask you. You won't even have to bring it up.
You seriously build your business the exact same way I do. And I think it's powerful hearing from somebody younger too, because I think we automatically assume that, oh, everybody's just sitting behind their phone. And I think that's why I think that's what a lot of people want to do, like, which is what I don't get. Like, why do you want to hide behind your phone? And I've noticed like the connections that I make, even if it's for 5 minutes, like the person has met me and I add them to social media, that relationship blooms so much faster than somebody that I meet through social media that hasn't met me in person. Like that relationship takes so much longer to get to that point where Thrive is coming up. You know what I mean? So I just think people are doing such a huge disservice if you're not paying attention to your surroundings. And a lot of people are like, I don't leave my house or I don't go anywhere. You do. Like I know every person on this Zoom has gone out to eat. The perfect person to talk to is your waitress. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, you're so bubbly and friendly. I'm looking for people just like you. Are you looking for another stream of income? Because I'm looking for people just like you to join my business. Can I give you some information? Can I friend you on Facebook? Like, we're not thinking about those things that we do every day that we see people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a choice of whether you're going to bring it up or not.
And I,
And it does. I think people think we get to 200K and people are knocking down our door.
yeah,
Oh,
I
can I
wish.
sign with you? Right. Like I just wake up in the morning and there's a line outside my front door. I'm ready to sign. It doesn't work that way. It gets harder. Like, y'all, if you think it's hard now and you're trying to get to 4K, 12K, 80K, it's never not hard. Like, I don't know how to explain that to people. I mean, I don't want to bring anybody down and go, oh, it just gets so easy. Aspects of the business get easy, but as far as recruiting grows, it is hard. It's always going to be a process. Nothing happens overnight. It's like the hurry up and wait game. I always tell people it's the tortoise and the hare. There is no hare about this business. It is all tortoise. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have got to come in and know that when you're cultivating a relationship, it might take 6 months to a year. I look at the people on my team that I've signed, and most of those people, it took 6 months to a year to 2 to 3 for them to join my team. There was very few people that at the very first interaction, they were like, I'm ready. It was a process. And I love that you talk about the product being really the lifeline of this business, you guys, because we can get out there all day and try to push the business on people, but until they have passion for the product, the business won't work. I've watched that a million times. People come in just for the money and they're not taking the product and they don't do very well. They
Mm-hmm.
just don't. And it doesn't have to be the Thrive experience or even Thrive Skin. They just need to get connected to one of our products, whether that's Rest or Move or, Balance, just one of the products. And that's all you need is passion for one thing to be able to like get out there and go, I'm going to do this. So what do you think? I want to ask you this. What do you think about, because you're kind of like, this is your first network marketing company and you went kind of fast, but then you watch people go pay for these like ads. I know the secret to network marketing. Join my, 5-day challenge for $69.95. And I'm going to teach you like, what do you think about that stuff?
Okay, so personally, I think I think it's a great way to grow your following of a bunch of other MLMers. I mean, like, because people might, people in other companies might follow you for your advice, but to actually grow your own business, it's not. I mean, in my opinion, it's not going to get you anywhere. And then another thing too is you'll go on Facebook and you'll see, other. Oh, I'm a top earner in my company. Find out how I recruited 21,000 people in a year. And, these ads are like, they're just there to like pull you in. But if you do your research, guys, because like in the beginning, I was like, oh, this person recruited that many people. Okay, I need to find out what they were doing. And then the first thing I'll do is Google their name. And it turns out they're not actually even at the top rank in their company. They're really like the middle rank or like second highest rank. And it's like,
most of them aren't. You are so right. Most of them, it's because they went backwards in their company and now they're scrambling because they don't want to do the hard work. So they're scrambling to try to figure out how can I make more money? And so they go take like where they used to be and promote that. And it's like all these people think somebody has the answer and there is no secret sauce. Y'all, if we knew the secret sauce, do you not think we would tell you? I want you to make money. It makes me more money. Like if I had a secret and there was like and if somebody did out there have the secret to MLM and how to see success overnight, do you not think that person would be a gazillionaire? Like everyone would be doing it? The answer is within you. It's you. It's your thought process, mindset. And I'm sure like Brittany, you have had times and you can look back in your business where when it wasn't good, your mindset wasn't good. And when it was good, it was like, what kind of role do you think mindset plays in this?
Oh my goodness, it's everything. And it's so funny because I'm really lucky to have an upline who like, she checks me. I mean, because there's been times that I've like texted her or she'll text me, hey girl, what's going on? What are you doing today? And I'm just like, it's just been slow this week. I've had times where I've been, negative Nancy. And I mean, she checks me and there's been a couple times where it like makes me mad at her for like an hour because I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe she'd call me out like that. But in reality, thank God she does, because it's so true. Like the times when I'm just blah, about my business or I'm thinking negatively or I'm like, if you make excuses, oh, well, it's hard because I've been doing it for 2.5 years now. And, it's just, this is how it's going to be now. Then yeah, you're absolutely right. That's how it's going to be. Like you have to wake up, every day and think about, you have to still be that same person that just hit VIP 800 that, is going for 4K. You have to constantly, have that mindset of I'm still excited. This product is still, the best thing in the market right now. You have to keep that. And when you've been on the products for a long time and you've been doing this business a long time, you kind of forget that, and so when you lose that momentum, a lot of times it's because you're not still maintaining that excitement. And you guys, your team is only going to be as excited about the opportunity as you are. So if you are not, painting the vision for them and keeping that high level of excitement and momentum, they're going to, they're going to mimic you. So whatever you're doing, however you're acting and whatever your mindset is, that's going to trickle down to your whole team.
What do you think about people doing more than one MLM business? Like,
no. No.
What, you don't want to go sell eyelashes with me?
Oh my God, seriously. That's like the new thing right now. And I'm like, okay. And here's why. Because a person who hated MLM before because she didn't know anything about it, from a person who thought of it as a pyramid scheme, credibility is everything, you guys. The second you burn your credibility, you have no chance of being successful in this industry. The second that people can no longer trust you, they're not going to buy from you. So if you're a person that's like, okay, I'm going to do Thrive, and then I'm also going to sell makeup, and I'm also going to sell LuLaRoe, you're now just a person on social media trying to make money off of your friends. You're no longer a person who is doing this to change other people's lives. You're doing this to profit for yourself. And if you're doing this for yourself, you're not going to get very far. You have to do this for other people too. And so with me, when I think about my business, I mean, Thrive is my brand. I will not do a second MLM. I'm not going to leave companies. Like, you have to brand yourself with your company and your products. And if you have your hands in multiple pots, how are you branding yourself when one day you're posting about Thrive and the next day you're posting about your, makeup, and the next day you're posting about your clothing that, it's just too much. And you're instantly burning your credibility. And like I said, once you do that, you're done. Once your network can no longer trust you, you're done.
Well, and you're confusing your team too, because these same people that say I can't afford the Thrive experience, now they're paying, $50 a month for the foundation. It's kind of like really confusing. And I want to make this clear. I'm all about multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. In the future, but it will never be two MLMs. Multiple streams of income to me is like, I'm going to maybe rent out houses, but it's not going to be confused with, gosh, what company do I join? And,
Right.
you guys, I support MLM companies. Most of my products in my house are from another MLM company. I think that's an amazing thing to do. But you can like something and not join the company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because you like something doesn't mean you got to sell it. And it's just so confusing to people. And I think that it just throws your whole team off balance. And it's just so incredibly, I've been in two companies, one before this and then Lavelle. And I can tell you, I have watched over that time so many people go from company to company to company onto their sixth and seventh company. And I promised you, you will bring you with you to every one of those companies. The change is not the company. The change has to come from within you.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time I've ever seen somebody actually start succeeding is when they decided, I'm done skipping. I'm done jumping. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm going to give this 5 to 7 years. I don't know a business person in any kind of business that like makes it in less than 5 years. Like most people don't even start profiting.
Right. And that's something that I knew coming from banking, because I was a commercial banker. So I helped startup companies get financing. And like you guys, the fact that we only, first of all, you can sign up as a brand promoter for free, but like let's say that you buy your product. So your investment's $150. Like I knew people that were starting companies, they were investing tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they were not even taking a paycheck for 5 to 6 years. And then when they started taking a paycheck, they were paying themselves like $30,000 a year. I mean, it wasn't like, this tremendous life-changing thing. People look at business owners and they're like, oh, they're millionaires. Well, maybe they are, but most of them, if they're in their first 1 to 5 years, they're struggling.
Right. So I'm in your inbox. Brittany, I'm ready to sign as a promoter. Take me through what you would do with me my first 14 days.
So, I would love for a person to be in my inbox just saying that. But so whenever I do have a conversation to bring on a new promoter, the first thing I want to do is get them on a phone call. I still believe in connecting them to additional resources. So I do try to have my upline on too, just so, my new person has now 2 people to connect with. And so it's either 3-way call or Zooms. I love Zooms because it's face-to-face. And, for the first 14 days, I'm holding their hand. I'm texting them every morning, asking them if I can help them come up with Facebook posts, asking them how they're feeling on the products. And I tell them in the first 14 days, if you have someone that comments on a post, or they text you and ask you about Thrive and you don't know what to say, screenshot it to me. Let me help you learn how to communicate it to people. Because a lot of times, if you've never done this before, and here's the thing, I've tried a lot of things and I've failed at a lot of things over the last 2.5 years. If you've never done it before, it's no fault of your own, but maybe you're word vomiting on people. And, you have a new person and they're just sending like 3-page paragraphs. So to prevent that, I always tell my new people, just get in touch with me. Let me help you, communicate the opportunity and the products to a person. So hand holding for the first at least 14 days is so important. Connecting them to an upline, adding them to at least 2 200K team pages, and just connecting them to as many resources as possible.
I can't stress enough to people. This is brought up probably more than anything on this Zoom every week. Every 200K says you have to connect to people. And I know you guys aren't, because I am barely ever put in a message. I know it. So this is why we don't do this. I don't understand, because people stay. They actually did this poll in network marketing, why people join. And more people they join because they see the vision. They want some money. Yeah. But they actually stay because of being a part of something.
Yeah.
Because more than money, just being recognized and being a part of something. Most people's lives were kind of boring,
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go anywhere, do anything. They worked and slept, once in a while they had a good time, and that it just wasn't anything to look forward to. Network marketing is something that people get to look forward to. Even getting on a Zoom with a bunch of adults at night is fun for people. And I think that what people don't realize is, if you're losing people, if you're signing people right now and you're on the Zoom and you're like, Lisa, Brittany, I'm signing people, but they leave. You've got to ask yourself that question. Are you making them feel a part of this? Are you immediately getting them in not just one, but a couple, welcome calls and face to face, just like you said, Brittany? I get it, start a 3-way chat, but actually looking in someone's face and hearing their voice and excitement, it takes 2 minutes to press that phone button at the top to call everybody all at once in Messenger and just say, oh my gosh, this is my new girl so-and-so. she is so excited and blah, blah, blah. And then 2 seconds for somebody to go, we're so excited for you. We're here if you need anything, throw out a quick special, save some product credit, y'all, and throw
Mhm.
out a quick special for those people. Like that makes all the difference, that you going, hey, for your first 4 customers, I'll give them 25 off the experience. Like just little things like that can make the biggest difference. Okay, we're coming up on the top of the hour. It's payday Tuesday. Everybody's excited. Don't forget to make your payday posts, y'all. Those are like so powerful, I think. Like just seeing what somebody's paycheck is doing for their life that week. End us out with, anything that you feel like you need to say to anybody on here, new, old, just what's on your heart.
For me, I mean, I would just say, you guys keep your excitement and keep your passion alive every single day. When you wake up in the morning, before you even get out of bed, get your mindset in check before you even start your day. Because if you want to grow a massively successful business, it all starts in your mind, and it all starts with what you're manifesting. And so, you just have to get yourself in check before you start your day. And also, too, make this about other people. Don't make this all about you. Don't get caught up in how much your paycheck is and what rank you are. Try to shift your mindset into focusing on changing other people's lives, whether it's making them feel better or, financially changing their lives by giving them this business opportunity. Make this business about other people. That is, I think, the most important thing you can do. Because in the end, successful people become successful by helping others, and you just have to keep that in mind. So don't focus so much on where you want to be. Focus on where your team wants to be, and help other people, become successful. And that's what I'll end with. And Lisa, I just want to say thank you again so much for giving me this opportunity.
Oh my gosh, thank you. We appreciate you. And you guys that are on right now, feel free. Like we have all different kinds of teams that get on this, you guys. So feel free. It's the same ID number every week, the same
Awesome.
Zoom ID number at the top. So, and this is recorded. So Brittany, I'll get you the recording, and then I'll get the recording out to everybody else as soon as Danny, because she always records these for me because I'm on my phone. She will get that out to me, and I'll get it out to all of you guys. And next week is the 11th, and Erica Sherwood is our guest.
Oh,
And then the week
she's
after
my
that
favorite.
is, yeah, week after that is Molly Haskins. Yeah, so, and then I think the 25th might be Amber Minquist. I can't remember. I have to look. But you guys, every week, I mean, if you guys thought this Zoom was fire, it was. It gets me so pumped up every week. And you're always going to hear like a little nugget of something that you needed to hear. I get so much feedback from this. Always somebody messaging me going, oh my gosh, that was crazy. So Brittany, I just appreciate you for taking the last hour out of your life to pour into everybody on this Zoom today. And you guys don't forget payday. I swear to you, my biggest day of the week where I get the most reach outs from just people watching is payday, because they're like wanting to know how I just with a 1 week check did that, or how I just, and it doesn't have to be big things, you guys. That isn't even relatable to people. It could be I just put a week's worth of groceries in my fridge. That's a big deal. So whatever you are, and even if you guys just started and you don't have a paycheck yet, if it was $20, it could be gas in my car. Like, don't think about the negative side of everything. The post could be, oh my gosh, everyone in my company just got paid. We get paid every Tuesday. So looking forward to the amazing checks I'm going to be getting every week. What a great post. I mean, boom. Or hey, it's payday and it just reminded me that I'm going to get to pick out one of these cars pretty soon. Which one would you pick? You guys do not have to be a 12K to start posting about that. You don't have to be a 0K. It starts with the mindset of believing you can get there. So Brittany, thank you again. I
Thank
appreciate you.
you. Thank
Thanks
you
to all
so
of you
much.
guys for, thank you. And thanks to everybody who got on today and poured into their selves and plugged in. It's so important. And we're just so excited to see where February takes us. Go rock and kick some butt this month with double, triple fast starts. And we'll see you guys all next week. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.